As we reported yesterday, a massive breach at credit reporting company Equifax has exposed the personal information of nearly half of the adult U.S. population. Today, shares came under pressure, falling more than 13%. This is scrutiny of the companies ramping up. The House Financial Services Committee will hold a hearing on the issue as other lawmakers and consumers are demanding some answers. Aditi Roy has the story.
Gabriel Gastelum is worried. He owns a home, a car, and uses credit cards. That makes him a likely victim of the Equifax cyber attack.
This is supposed to be a company that is supposed to help you when issues like that come about. And if the people who are trying to help you, are supposed to help you, are the ones being hacked, then what do you do after that?
Equifax, one of the top 3 credit reporting companies in the country, says 143 million Americans, or nearly half the country, might have been impacted. The information accessed includes names, social security numbers, birth dates, addresses, and in some cases, driver's licenses. 209,000 credit card numbers were breached.
That makes it one of the largest, if not the largest, breaches of PII, or personally identifying information, that we've seen to date.
Adding to the outrage, news that 3 of the company's executives sold nearly $2 million of Equifax shares days after the cyber attack was discovered. The company claims those executives did not know about the breach when they sold the shares. Equifax has set up a toll-free number and website dedicated to customers who may have been impacted. On it, a message from CEO Richard Smith.
I deeply regret this incident, and I apologize to every affected consumer and all of our partners.
But one class action suit has already been filed, and the New York Attorney General has launched a formal investigation. And the House Financial Services Committee just announced it will hold a hearing on the issue. Meantime, experts recommend consumers lock their credits so they'll be alerted if anyone tries to open a credit card in their name. Also, create an online profile with the IRS so no one uses your social security number to create a fake one. And change passwords for your online profiles. Gastelum worries it might be too late to protect himself.
We don't have a choice. Equifax is one of the leading credit score providers, and we don't have a choice. Had we had a choice, then I wouldn't use it.
Already, analysts estimate the cost of the breach could reach $300 million, similar in scale to the Target or Home Depot breaches. And in yet another twist, a source tells me the company website that was created to help customers who may be impacted also has security issues. For Nightly Business Report, I'm Aditi Roy, San Francisco.
Let's turn now to Tim Maurer to discuss what you should be doing to protect your finances, your privacy. He's Director of Personal Finance at the BAM Alliance. Tim, this is a mess. As Didi just pointed out, obviously the main system there was breached. There may be issues involving the sort of follow-up, how to help yourself when you've been affected by this. Tell me what I should do if I suspect I have been one of the people, the 140-some million people whose information may have been compromised here. It's already done. Somebody's already got it.
Yeah, Tyler, they got a ton of information too, and it looks actually like they may have gotten mine. Of the 4 people in my family, I think I was the one who was affected, unfortunately. So now they've got my driver's license information, my social security number, and probably my favorite beer. It's amazing how much information they got, but they are not holding all the cards. The hackers still don't have your passwords and your PIN numbers. So you should immediately go to your banks and financial institutions and change those passwords, because that should be information that the hackers don't have. I also recommend letting your bank and your brokerage firm and any other financial services companies know if you do determine that you were one of the hacked in the Equifax situation.
How do you know? How did you find out that you were?
Right.
Well, I went onto that website that you're now saying might be involving some lack of security and fraud in and of itself. But I went directly to that website. I followed the process that Equifax asked me to do, and they gave me the information that I may have been hacked. It said that the other 3 members of my family had not been affected.
So, Tim, there is a lot of different recommendations that are out there. You said change your password, change your PINs. There are a number of experts who are recommending freezing your credit, but there's a big discussion about how easy that is to do and what the implications are once you have frozen your credit.
Sure. It may not be particularly easy because it's different on a state-by-state basis, and it may even be different within your state based on each of the 3 credit bureaus. But it is the strongest form of locking down your credit. Now, let me be clear. It doesn't mean that people cannot hack or defraud you. It just means that you're likely to get notification faster if you've frozen your credit.
Well,
you
how do
don't
you do
want to freeze your credit.
What does that mean? Do you call the credit agency and say, I don't want anybody accessing my credit report and trying to open an account for me, or what? What does that mean?
Yes, each of the agencies will have their own process. If you call them directly, they'll direct you either to something, an online form, or you can even do a handwritten form if you would prefer that. One of the big challenges we see, though, guys, is that if you want to use your credit in the near term, you don't necessarily want to freeze it. But I have been told that every single one of us should be freezing our minor children's credit reports. And so that's something that I'm currently undertaking for my 11 and 13-year-old. They actually have a credit report, which is kind of scary to begin with because they don't have any credit. We know if they've had any activity on those, it's definitely fraudulent.
That's a topic for another day, why children would have credit files on them. But at any rate, we do have to leave it there, Tim. Continued good luck. I hope nobody hacks you. Tim Maurer with BAM Alliance.